think if when Dan gets here, he may have some, when Dan gets here, he may have other additional comments that would affect loan audit committee, and we'll hear those when he's available. So Jeff, if it's all right with you, why don't you go ahead and do some loan committee work?
You bet. All right, let's call the loan committee to order. First item, is there any public comment within the jurisdiction of the loan committee?
I don't know whether
Hearing none.
I don't
Go
know
ahead.
whether this falls under this bucket or not, but there's a loan with the Yellowstone Club that's under review, and I need to recuse myself from that.
So noted. Yeah, we'll get to that formally in a
Is
few.
that the kind of thing that goes into this public comment bucket? I don't know what this is supposed to do.
I'm not sure either. Perhaps somebody else could
Okay.
provide guidance on that.
So the public comment really is for people that are not members of the board or staff. It's part of the open meeting regulations where we have to make sure that we're available to people to ask us questions. And so that's where that comes from. And so it's good that you noted that conflict. If there's any vote or anything, we make a note of that before the vote is held. We also are kind of cautious, I think, in the past history, in that on conflicts, there's some that technically may not be a conflict, but there might be an appearance. So I think we're overly cautious, which I think is good. If there's any potential issue that somebody had, it's just better that we notice that in our records and do that. So, you know, at the beginning of the meeting or when that subject comes up, either way is appropriate to make that notice. And we do really rely on individual board members to use their judgment when making a notice of that conflict.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, the approval of the December 6th, 2022 committee meeting minutes. I assume everybody's had time to review. So I'll enter.
Hi,
Go ahead.
Jeff. I have a request. Reading the minutes under the item number 5, the MDPA loan request and decision. The last item says there's no decisions were made. And I don't know if that's really reflective of what we did there. I mean, we discussed it and determined that that the loan met the criteria of the program, and so we took no action. I'm wondering if we could add some wording to that effect.
I think that'd be fine. Do you have suggested wording that we could utilize there? No actions were made rather than no decisions were made.
Uh-huh.
That'd be fine with me. Do you want to make a motion subject to that change?
Yes, I'll move the committee minutes subject to the change to item number 5 to say rather than no decisions, no actions were taken.
Do we have a second from Porter? Thanks. All in favor?
Right.
So moved. Next item on the agenda, executive director comments. I don't believe Dan's joined us yet. Is that correct?
No, I can tell you, I'm got another screen going here, and the bill that he's there for is being heard right now. So
Okay. So confirmation. So the next item on the agenda, Louise, we have some intercap loan requests.
Right, thank you, Chairman Meredith, Loan Committee. Okay, so just to get right to it, we do have 2 loan requests for the intercap program. One is a school and the other is a fire district. So we'll just get started there with the first one is Drummond Public Schools. They are requesting to borrow 1.1 million And this is to finance costs associated with constructing affordable employee housing to recruit and retain highly qualified teachers and staff. This is going to be over a 15-year term payable out of their general fund. And one of the things that they want to do is they also want to include some educational purpose here in including their students in all aspects of this building phase. So it's kind of an educational thing as well. This property is adjacent to the school and the school library shop. And they have also met the authorizations there in the authorization section of 20-9-471. That's considered the borrowing act. They are required to have voter approval for anything over 20% of the existing classroom footprint. And they've done that. They've kept that under that amount by 9.4%. So they met that. They're also required to get election for the site approval as well. And they did that, received a 60% voter approval for that. So they've checked the box there. They also have the debt authority to do so. So the past intercap debts, they have satisfied that as required. And there's no outstanding debt at this time for the school. Their repayment is going to come, as mentioned earlier, from their general fund. And part of this is going to be from the rental income. They anticipate this fourplex to be fully occupied by August of 2023 and generating about $57,000 a year. They are experienced landowners because they do also have existing rental income of $12,000 coming in as well. So you can see by the financial report, they have the ability to do so. They also have some room to increase their budget if they need to. Staff is recommending approval of this loan with the additional conditions listed in the recommendation section of this write-up. And I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
So Louise, on the criteria for recommending these things, have you gotten any of these things so far? I mean, you put these requirements out, the appraisal, you said you got the appraisal, correct? The buy sell.
The appraisal is forthcoming.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So
But
these are items that I like to have in place before we release funds,
okay.
just to make sure that they are in compliance.
Okay. And they want to get construction started this spring, I take it, to have it
Yes.
done full year?
Yes.
And they think they can do that, right?
Well, they think they can do it. So we'll see how it goes. We know the construction right now in Montana and the ability to do so is getting the help you need is kind of a challenge. But within Drummond, I don't know what their personal, who they have in their group that is involved. Of course, they will comply with all the competitive bid issues there, and we'll make sure that it's done correctly, and with the students involved, which is a nice thing. It's a pretty neat educational opportunity for these kids.
Okay. When you're looking at this, do you look at the design of these facilities, or do you
No.
just go, okay, all right,
No, I do not.
okay.
I lend the money, I don't build it.
Okay. I'm sorry to usurp your time, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for the $1.1 million request from Drummond Public Schools.
I would move a recommendation of staff with the conditions that they've listed on the second page of the proposal.
Thank you, Cindy.
I'll second. Mark?
Thank you, Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Still with Louise, moving on to our next request for the Yellowstone Mountain Club Rural Fire District. Louise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the second one is the Yellowstone Mountain Club Rural Fire District. This is a new local government district. However, they have been providing these services since the late 90s in the area. The previous services were from the Public Safety and Privacy LLC, but now they have changed to a local government. And I'll go into that a little bit deeper here in a minute. So this district is requesting to borrow $1,171,841. Yes, it's not an even number, and the reason for that is because there is a refinancing of one of the trucks that they are going to finance with these loan proceeds. It's going to be over a 7-year term. And just a little bit on the project description itself. Provided a little map there of the district boundaries. So the district boundaries you're looking at with this new district is there in yellow, and they are bordering the Big Sky Rural Fire District that we have already have been a borrower for the InterCap program for quite some time. So you get kind of a feel of where they're at and the potential tax revenue that they could receive. Now, at this point, so the Madison County Commissioners, they created this district in 2021, and it was an unprotested petition to do so. What this did was enable this district to levy mills and also make it a part of, or open it up to their firefighters to participate in the Firefighters Unified Retirement Systems retirement, disability benefits, death benefits, that sort of thing. So what this did was that the pension benefits had a really large influence on their decision to make the change to local government status. And that was the reason for that was for recruitment and retention of their firefighters. So this is a good thing for those that are working and providing those services.
Louise, question before you go on, just about the
You bet.
map, since you were
Mhm.
talking about that. I was only able to get this electronically and it kind of fuzzed out.
Oh, okay.
So is the yellow, the district, and then that line, there's a dotted line that goes on the right side of the yellow square. What is that line?
That dotted line is actually the county line.
Okay.
So they are
Okay.
fully in Madison County.
Right.
Big Sky Rural Fire is in Madison and Gallatin.
And then is basically the northern boundary of that, or at least part of it, on the left side of it, or the west or the east side, is that the highway? The spur road that goes up to Big Sky? I mean, the curves look somewhat familiar.
It's actually encompassing the Yellowstone Club itself.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't go all the way to the spur road, just the
Right.
Yellowstone Club. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You bet. All good questions. Thank you for that. So with the authorization, what this also does when they change to a district, this authorized them to levy if they need to, and also to contract for services. So at this point, as we move into the repayment area, this shows where they're using contracts, because that's how they've been doing it for several years now, and successfully as a private company. Now that they've moved in as a local government, they're going to maintain those contracts with the Yellowstone Club Property Owners Association and also the Yellowstone Mountain Club LLC. So that's the club itself. So those fire protection contracts are paid by the POA and the club, and those are paid semi-annually every January and July. Now, within those contracts, though, they do maintain the right to levy mills on properties within the district in the event of non-payment. So the next question would be, so if that happened, what would be our worst case scenario? They would be getting those levies in play in about 6 to 8 months. And also within that contract, they have a year to, if there is a termination of that contract, they have a year to put that into play. So that's part of that little backstop thing that I like to see in that contract. So looking at the financial report, in their earlier time, what they would do for the practice prior to July of 2022 would be that the property association would annually approve the private fire department's budget every September. And then what wasn't expended by the fire department by the end of the fiscal year in their fiscal year in October was returned to the POA. Now that they have changed to a local government, that's changing. They're able to keep what they don't spend, and they also going to have ownership of the assets independent of the POA and the club. So in recommendation, staff is recommending this loan request with the additional conditions listed in the recommendation section. Happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
So the Yellowstone Mountain Club Rural Fire District does have levy capability, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and then, so of the amount that they want, they're going to refinance an existing ladder truck?
Yes.
Okay, and what are they gonna do with the rest of the funds then?
The rest of the funds is going to be for a pumper truck and a brand new ambulance.
Okay, so two more vehicles.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there's a part of me that says, can't they just, do a door to door and have people give their chump change in the Yellowstone Club and cover
That's a
this?
good question. A very good question.
Anyway, but I would guess that because they want the members to participate in the volunteer fire retirement fund, that's part of the reason for setting this up and why they're going for this loan.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
I have another question, Mr. Chairman. Do they already have a physical facility, a building that houses their equipment?
Yes, they do.
And that's already paid for, so they don't need to borrow anything for that?
They are leasing that, and actually they're going to move to a different building and lease that. So the numbers that you're seeing in their financials already include a lease amount, I think about 140,000 a year. And so they're actually going to move to a separate building, and I'm sorry, I don't know where that is, but it's going to be bigger so they can expand and have better services for the area.
Well, you don't know where it is. I presume it's likely within the Yellowstone Club boundaries, within the
Absolutely.
yellow.
I
Yes.
think it's it's not very far from the older one. It's more, there's been a lot of growth up there, and I think they moved it a little closer to some of the growth. I think it's more centrally located now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee for Louise? If not, we'll make note that Member Bennett recuses himself from voting on this approval, and I'll entertain a motion.
Also move, do you have enough of a quorum to make that motion, Mr. Chairman?
I believe so. We have Cindy on, myself, yourself, so 3 out of 4.
Okay, good enough.
Twice. So
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second the motion.
thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And that gets us to the end of the loan committee. We're really flying through here. I think it has to do with these new chairs in place.
If it's all right with you, Jeff, since Louise is here and she does present in the regular board meeting, but I always like to ask her just to get a feel for the environment, what she's seeing in requests and things. So Louise, could I ask you to give that environment a little talk about that?
Certainly, happy to. So I'm assuming that you're wondering about, how it is out there with loans, the appetite for borrowing and that sort of thing. I am seeing it break open a little bit. The conversations I'm having with like school districts and that sort of thing, the ARPA money is starting to dry up. So now they're starting to look at, now we have to start looking seriously about our budgets, and the fact that we're able to open that up to to more loan proceeds. So I'm thinking it's going to start coming back around for Intercap, only because that ARPA money is starting to dry up a little bit.
And you just raised the rate to what again?
The rate came up to 5.75, and then
From
we're
one-
adding, yeah. And
from
then we're
one-
adding 25 basis points on that for those existing borrowers that are not set up for auto pay.
Okay. Wow, that's a big jump though. And then
It is.
in your discussions, you're pointing that out to people.
Absolutely. And along with that, I was talking with a school district about Intercap and going through just what we have. And they said that they just got an offer from a bank for the same amount, 5.75. So the banks are coming up too.
Great. Louise, anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I'll go into more detail with the activity summary and the staff approved loans during my afternoon part.
Great. Any other questions from the committee? If not, we'll call the loan committee closed.